Entitled mom tells me she lives in my house after refusing to leave my property. So I live on a river, and it's a very popular place during the summer. I have some riverfront property and my house looks onto the river across the street. I have always had problems with people littering and destroying my property, so I try to make it look secluded. But this made it worse. Usually, I would just have to tell people that they're on private property and point at the several signs, and they would leave. But some people are different. Well, today we had a different person. At around 12:45, I saw Entitled Mom and her little brat waltz right onto my property, past the 2 no trespassing signs. At first, I thought they didn't see the signs, so I went down to tell them how it's private property. "Hey ma'am, could you please go somewhere else to swim?" "What? No, we got here first." That's not my problem." "Well then leave us alone." "But this is private property." "Yeah, I know." She points at the sign. "So, could you leave?" No." She rolls her eyes. "But even you said it's private property." At this point, I was getting really frustrated, because she even admits that it was private property. But what she said next made me pissed. "Yeah, I own this property. Can't you see my house?" She points at my house. "Lady, that's my house. Now leave before I call the police." I take a step closer, hoping she'll back off. I couldn't be more wrong. "Get away from my son, you pedo." I had no words for this, and I called the police. The police show up and start talking to us. "So what is the problem, sir?" "This man is trespassing and trying to molest my son." The officer looks at me with that "sorry man" kind of look, and I reciprocate. And I say, "Look lady, I have my keys on me, so if you want to try to say that's your house, we can test it out now." "That's stupid, I don't need to prove anything." "Well, I'll go show the police I live there." We all walk up to the house, and I open the door with my key, and unlock my car in the driveway. Entitled Mom tells the police officer I stole her keys, and he just tells her to leave. "My child is disabled, you have to let him sit at the bar." I'm a 19-year-old female, and I'm a hostess in a large chain of Mexican restaurants. I've hosted before at another restaurant, so I know what I'm doing and how to generally handle customers who are being rude. I have my fair share of entitlement stories. It's a Sunday, it's lunchtime. There's an NFL game on TV, and the TVs are only in the bar. We're on a wait, 15 to 30 minutes. The lobby is full, and so is the atrium. We've been asking people to wait either outside or in their cars, taking phone numbers to call people back. In walks Entitled Mom with their son. Her son is probably no older than 16. The kid looks like he has mental issues. All goes well until I ask her for her phone number. "Well, why do you need that? It's private information." "Ma'am, it's very crowded in here. We need you to wait outside or in your car. The number is so I can call you when a table opens up." "Well, I'm parked in a handicap spot. I need my husband to help me back out." I nod, and before I can get the number, she walks away. To the bar. Her husband walks in, and Entitled Mom flags him down. She then shoots me the smuggest look and says, "Take us off the list. We're sitting at the bar." Now I live in a state where there are 2 places in a bar. The cocktail area, which is kid-friendly, and the actual bar, which is not kid-friendly. Entitled Mom and her family are sitting in the bar, not the cocktail area. So my petty self gets the bartender. I tell her, "Hey, see that lady over there? She was terribly rude, and her son is definitely underage. Could you card him?" The bartender grins and says, "Oh yes, absolutely I can do that." A few minutes later, the Entitled Mom shrieks, "He's disabled! You have to let him sit here with us." The bartender calmly tells her there's cocktail seating for families with kids. "But there's no room," she says. So the bartender tells her then she'll have to go get the hostess and get on the list. Entitled Mom stomps over and says, "It's been 15 minutes, get me a table." I have the pleasure of smiling at her and saying in my most pleasant customer service voice, "I'm sorry ma'am, but since you asked to be removed, you're no longer on the list. It'll be 30 minutes, can I get a name and a phone number?" The look of rage on her face fueled me all day as she stomped out, husband and son in tow. Entitled mother sends her kid to eat off my plate. So my partner and I were at an Italian restaurant over the weekend. It was going great, except we were seated right by the door, so whenever someone came in, the cold breeze would hit you. This is just important so you know we were the closest table to the door. Anyway, our pizzas came and we were tucking in. They came uncut, so I was using a knife and fork to cut slices. Suddenly, there's a cool breeze, then a child next to me. Then he, without saying a word, sticks his grubby hands onto my plate and takes a slice of pizza. This child was about 12 or 13. I had zero idea what to do except say, "What do you think you're doing?" My mom said I'm allowed. Suddenly, the breeze hits us again as the door opens. "Jonathan, what's going on? Did you get your pizza?" I turned in my seat to the woman, thinking the child must have just been confused and thought the pizza I was eating was his or something. I told the woman something along the lines of, "Sorry, your child just stuck his hands in my pizza and took a slice." I expected her to apologize, be super embarrassed, etc. But hell no. She just said something like, "Yeah, he's a child. He likes pizza. It's manners to share." I was floored. Like, what? So I said he shouldn't just grab food from other people, or walk into a restaurant and steal food. What he did is stealing food. She was livid and said, "It's not stealing, it's sharing." At this stage, she was pretty close to yelling. A waiter came over and asked them if they would like a table for two, but she doubled down. "No, this man called my son a thief. All he wanted was some pizza, and now he is upset." Cue the child crying. Oh, also, neither of them were wearing a mask. The waiter said, "If you aren't dining with us, you're gonna have to leave." She loses it, screaming about discrimination against unvaccinated people. She did eventually leave, and both my partner and I got our pizzas remade, and a bottle of house wine for free. So not very exciting, but imagine the parenting that's going on if a mother is sending her child in to eat off other people's plates. I feel I should also add that while they could have been starving, they were reasonably well dressed, so it didn't cross my mind at the time. No, I will not let you drive onto airport property so you can get your already late kids to school. So I'm home from college for the summer, and whenever I'm here, I work with my grandpa, who's a surveyor, as I have since I was 16. One of the places we work at is a small airport in our town. Small as in, there's a few runways, and the planes are all those small ones that fit like 6 or 7 people max. The people who work there know both me and my grandpa personally, as we're the only surveyors they use since my grandpa has all the plats of the area. Well, one day we go down at around 8 a.m. and head around to the side where they've dug out a mound for another holding building. To get into said dugout mound, you have to drive alongside a road, off onto a dirt path, and up to a locked gate to keep people out to the best of their abilities. We drive up to the gate and no one's there to let us in, as per usual. So my grandpa tells me to wait at the Jeep while he walks over to the other building to get someone. I'm standing there by myself, and after probably 10 minutes, an SUV pulls up behind the Jeep, and a woman sticks her head out the window. "Excuse me, could you move your car so I can go through?" I'm sorry, but no one's allowed through the gate unless you work here." "Well, do you work here?" "Not exactly, but..." "Well then, you don't dictate who can go through or not. Now please move your car, I'm in a rush to take my kids to school." She gave me a really tight-lipped smile, and I looked through her windshield to see 2 bored-looking kids in the back seat. The nearest school, elementary, was about a 20-minute drive away, and it started at 7:15 a.m., so they were already late, I assumed. And I say, "I'm sorry, but I don't even have the key to open the gate." "Listen, young lady, my kids need to get to school immediately, so move your car out of my way and let me through." I'm just ignoring that she called me a young lady, and I say, "This is an airport entrance, ma'am. No one is allowed to just drive over the runways and land, it's restricted." Does it look like I have time for those rules? My kids are top of their class and have their gifted classes today, and if you don't let me through, they're gonna be late and miss them. Again, I'm sorry, but I don't have the key to open the gate, even if it was allowed. This time, she didn't even verbally respond. Instead, she decided to just lean on her car horn. I was standing at the back of the Jeep, and her car was right in front of me, so the horn was incredibly loud to my already sensitive ears. I held my hands over my ears and just got into the Jeep to try and block it out. As soon as I got in, she let up, I guess thinking I was going to move. Instead, I just sat in the driver's seat and waited. Not even a minute passed before she came up and freaking knocked on the window. This lady, shouting through the glass, says, "If my kids get kicked out of enrichment and fail 5th grade, it'll be all your fault. I hope you can live with that." Then she stormed back to her car and finally left. I told my grandpa what happened when he got back, and he just laughed for a good 10 minutes.